Hi everybody and welcome back to the channel. Um, it seems like every time I switch my computer on, it seems like the Beatles are offering us something else. We've got Ringo's new country and western album coming out in January. We've got a documentary by Martin Scorsese coming out later this month, aren't we, or beginning of December on Disney Plus. We've got Mono box set from America coming out soon. We've got the George Harrison box set coming out soon. There's that much going off at the minute. It's an amazing time to be a Beatles fan. I'm not having a go or anything when I say that. It's just like every time I switch my laptop on and go onto YouTube, it's so and so's doing this, so and so's doing, it's I can only compare this to what Beatlemania must have been like in 1963, 1964. Um, so you know I'm all for it. I'm all for it. Now today's little video is it is sort of connected because I went to the National Album Day thing on Saturday and I managed to get the white vinyl copy of A Hard Day's Night. Now I have played that, and I think it's a really really nice sounding album. It's a really really nice made product as well. It's lovely to look at. Now that was quite expensive. Yes, I went to HMV, and if I'd have shopped around, I could have probably got it a little bit cheaper. But you know, I just went to support my local HMV, basically. So if you've watched my other video, we know that I did meet up with a long time subscriber and one of my mates, Terry Mann. So we went to HMV and then we went to our local record shop in Derby. He wasn't participating in that, he's like a little second-hand record shop. You can get brand new records as well. BPM in Sadlergate in Derby, Blacksmith's Yard it's called, where his shop is. Now, when I do go into BPM, I do usually spend, a decent amount of money. Not every time, but a lot of the time I do spend, when I go in, I do spend quite a bit of money. And as soon as I went in there with Terry on Saturday, Anthony, one of the people that work there, goes, "Dave, I've got a bag full of records for you." And I goes, "Well, I haven't bought anything yet." It goes, "No, we've just been saving these for you. But it's even got Beatle Dave on here." So these didn't cost me a penny. And it's the first time I've ever walked into a record shop and I've been handed records and not had to pay for them. I did spend quite a bit of money later on during the visit, which is going to be for a future video. But for this, I just thought for today we'd just have a quick look at these. So they are Beatles related. They're not technically Beatles album, but they are Beatles related. Um, I have listened to a couple of them, and a couple of them. By the way, if you want to do a review on that Hard Day's Night album, I will do it, but I should imagine there's already quite a few reviews of it already on YouTube. Um, let me know in the comments below. So the first one was this. Bear in mind, these didn't cost me a penny. These were all given to me by my local record shop. So the first one is George Martin and his orchestra, Beatles to Bond and Back. Nice cover. So this is George Martin, isn't it? Obviously George Martin's orchestra. So side one you get the Bond suite. Let me just put my glasses on. Like the haircut, by the way. Yeah, I just thought I'd cut the grey out and had to keep going a bit deeper and deeper and deeper. So this is the track listing on the back of this record. And I'm surprised that this wasn't on Parlophone or something like that. It's actually on, I think it's Imp Records. Let's have a look. Yeah, Imp, made in England. So that is side one. And this is side two. That's it. I have played this one, by the way, this morning. And to be honest, it is a really, really nice sounding record. It won't be to everybody's cup of tea, I do appreciate that. But the thing that got me is you've got the Beatles suite on side two, which is Sergeant Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band. Then you've got Lucy in the Sky with Diamonds, and then you've got A Day in the Life. So all three of them are off the Sergeant Pepper album. These are orchestral arrangements, obviously, so there's no singer in it. But then you've got the Yellow Submarine Suite, and it is basically side two of the Yellow Submarine album. And I'm sure these are the same mixes. I'm sure these are the same mixes that were on the Yellow Submarine album. Side one starts off with the James Bond suite. So you've got, the classic James Bond intro, ding 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 ding. Then you've got Whisper Who Dares, Bond meets Solitaire, and then you've got a lovely version of Live and Let Die. And then you've got theme one. Well, theme one was to the Family Way one, I think. And then you've got Elizabeth and Essex, Prelude for Strings, and then Air on the G string or something. Yeah, so that was nice. Again, didn't cost me anything. I don't think these records are, worth anything, but they are nice that somebody who owns a business thought of putting these to one side just to give to me. I am very, very lucky really, but like I say, I'm a good customer and things like that. I'm not blaming Trump or anything when I say that, but I'm a good customer. Now, this was the one that intrigued me the most. I didn't realise till I got it home. And it's the Stars Sing Lennon and McCartney. It's on MFP, Music for Pleasure. So I've already got one with a similar name to this, but this is completely different contents. You've got Billy J. Kramer and the Dakotas, Do You Want to Know a Secret? You've got The Foremost, Hello Little Girl. Then you've got Matt Monro singing Yesterday. Now, Matt Monro was a bit before my time in a lot of ways, but his version of Yesterday is absolutely amazing. Then you've got Peter and Gordon, A World Without Love. Cilla Black, It's For You. Fantastic song. You've got Olivia Newton-John doing a version of The Long and Winding Road. Then you've got The Young Idea singing With a Little Help from My Friends. Ike and Tina Turner come together. The Bedrocks, Obladi Oblada. Now, I think the Bedrocks were sort of like reggae band. And then you've got Al McCogan doing a version of 8 Days a Week. And that was absolutely blew my mind when I heard that. Because it starts off all like really, really slow, and then it goes into like a proper sort of like jazz record. Side two, you've got Cliff Richard doing a version of I Saw Her Standing There. I never knew Cliff Richard did a version of that song. Then you've got Lulu, yeah, little Lulu, singing Day Tripper. Peter Sellers with his comic version of A Hard Day's Night. He does it as his sort of like playing Richard III. It has been a hard day's night. Something like that. Anyway, I know I didn't do that very good, but then you've got a bloke called Vince Hill. Now, if you live outside the UK, you probably never heard of him. He's a bit like Val Doonican or Andy Williams type sort of person. And he does a version of Here, There and Everywhere. And again, that is a really, really nice rendition of it. Then you've got Kenny Lynch. Kenny Lynch was more known as a comedian in a lot of ways in the UK. And he does a version of Misery. And I think he was one of the first people to cover a Lennon and McCartney song. Again, it is a really, really nice rendition of that. Then you've got David and Jonathan with their version of She's Leaving Home. Then you've got Bernard Cribbins. Who can remember Bernard Cribbins? Bernard Cribbins used to do the voices for the Wombles. That's what he's probably most famous for in a lot of ways in the UK. He was a singer and a comedian in his own right. Just before he died, he was in Doctor Who and things like that. A fantastic actor, actually. And he does a version of When I'm 64. Again, fantastic version of it. Cliff Bennett and the Rebel Risers. They do a version of Back in the USSR, which is a really, really good rocking version of that. Then you've got Deep Purple, who do like a prog rock sort of version of Help, which was a bit weird to listen to be honest. And then this finishes off with The Gods. And their version of Hey Bulldog. That is the track listing. You want to freeze and zoom in. I hope you can see this okay. Now, The Gods, I think that was actually released on Columbia. That is the British Columbia, which was part of the MI, not the Columbia in America that was part of CBS, wasn't it? And I think that record, if you tried to get that record on its own, is actually quite expensive to get. Um, if you want to know what it roughly sounds like, I mean, I thought it sounds okay, but I played it downstairs, and then I did play it up here, and I did do like a little short. So if you want to look at my shorts and see that, it'll give you an idea what it sounds like. But it doesn't sound as good up here as what it did downstairs. That's what I said. I think I was a little bit too close to the speaker. Yeah, so that one's lovely. That is really, really lovely. Again, don't think it's worth anything, but I think there's some fascinating songs on that, or fascinating renditions of Beatles songs. When you've been listening to the Beatles for as long as I have, and people like Beatley Tone and Beatle Brown and things like that, sometimes it is just good to listen to slightly different versions of the songs. You can still tell it's Beatles songs, but yeah, it's a bit weird. Then there's this one. Yeah, you see this all the time. Goddess of Fortune, and it's I didn't realise, but it is the same album as. Always 1 second. Done this a little bit better. Right, so that is actually the same album as that, which is the Radha Krishna Temple, London. Now, after Apple had ceased trading, I mean that is £100 plus album usually, that on Apple, the UK version. Um, Anthony was telling me that this is one that they pressed privately, so they must have got the tapes off Apple or something like that. And they used to sell this in London on the streets just to get a little bit of money. It's exactly the same mix and everything. It even says on there produced by George Harrison, uh, balance engineer Ken Scott, recorded in England, and all that. So this is the same album. So if you can't afford to buy the original Apple album, get this, because it is basically the same. It is the same album. I think it's even in the same order. Yeah. So I'll show you the labels. Yeah, so you've got 4 songs on side one, like you do with Apple album, and 3 songs on side two. Spiritual Sky, Goddess of Fortune. Even try, if you haven't got the original Apple album, and you think, well, I don't want to spend £100 for a copy of that, a decent copy, you'll get a decent copy of this for around £5. Well, in my case, I got this for free, didn't I? Then there's this one. This is the Royal Philharmonic. Get your teeth in, Dave. This is the Royal Philharmonic Orchestra plays the Beatles' 20th anniversary concert. So again, it's for orchestra, so it's orchestral versions of Beatles songs. So side one is All You Need Is Love, A Hard Day's Night, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Here, There and Everywhere, featuring Ella Duncan, Fall on the Hill, and then a Beatles medley. Side two is Imagine, featuring Joan Collins. Joan Collins singing Imagine. I don't think she sings it, 'cause again, I haven't listened to this. I think she reads it like it's like she's reading a book or a poem, and the music is like just behind her. Then you've got Blackbird, then you've got Mull of Kintyre, featuring Roy Wood and the British Caledonian Airways Pipe and Drum Band. Then you've got Happy Christmas War Is Over, featuring Ella Duncan, Honor Heffernan and Roy Wood, and then Sergeant Pepper medley. Because I haven't actually played this, so I don't know what it sounds like. I think I did have a copy of this a few years ago. Conducted by Lois Clark, or Lewis Clark. 1983 this came out. That is another one that I will be listening to in the next day or two. I've actually got quite a few records I've got to listen to. I mean, I've only listened to that Hard Day's Night twice so far, but I'm very, very happy with it. I am very, very happy with that. If you can get that for a decent price, I'd go out and buy it. Then we've got this Lennon and McCartney. Now, I never know how to pronounce this. I always thought it was the Tajin brass or something like that. So it's the Tajin style. Again, so this is strange versions of Beatles songs, basically. I know I did have a copy of this many, many years ago, and I think it was okay. Um, this was this is from 1969. This LP, and it's a BMD production, although it's on Music for Pleasure. So side one, you've got Obla Di Obla Da, Yesterday. From me to you, with a little help from our friends, All My Lovin' and Yellow Submarine. Side two, excuse me, got Please Please Me, Hey Jude, Can't Buy Me Love, I Want to Hold Your Hand, She Loves You, and Eleanor Rigby. Didn't Herb Albert do a Beatles one a bit like this, didn't he? And that does look like that is the original Music for Pleasure in the sleeve as well. This is probably worth more than the record, but it doesn't matter because I got them for free and I won't get rid of them. I'll just keep them in the collection. So this is stereo. I think the mono ones, the early mono ones of MFP were on a blue label. I think you got MFP in Australia as well, didn't you? Music for Pleasure. That actually doesn't look in too bad a condition, to be honest. Yes, they're not going to be worth hundreds of thousands of pounds, or are they? Because you never know, do you? Never know. And then there's this one. I think I've got a copy of this down there, but I know mine is pretty battered up, and this looks really, really nice condition. Arcade Records. Who remembers Arcade Records? Superstars tribute to the Beatles. 40 songs, double album as seen on TV. Superstars sing the Beatles 40 greatest songs. So, so this is supposed to be the 40 greatest songs, then, is it? So you got people like Tony Bennett, Joe Cocker, Peter and Gordon, Cilla Black, The Shadows, Lulu, David Cassidy. I won't show you the labels, I'll just tell you what's on it, shall I? So that is it, it's a gatefold sleeve. Ooh, it says. So, side one, you get I Want to Hold Your Hand, and that's by Diana Ross and the Supremes, and I didn't even know that Diana Ross and Supremes had done a version of that. Then you've got Eleanor Rigby by the Four Tops. You've got Bad to Me by Billy J. Kramer and Dakota's fantastic song. Then you've got Every Night by the Drifters. Every night I just want to go out. That sounds actually quite good, you know. Step Inside Love by Madeleine Bell. The Long and Winding Road by Gladys Knight and the Pips. Help by Count Basie. Well, he was like a jazz sort of bloke, one to Count Basie. Then Let It Be by Joseph Falango. We Can Work It Out, Stephen Wonder. I've heard that one before. That's okay, that is. Lady Madonna by Gary Puckett in the Union Gap. Side two, you got Here, There, Everywhere by Tony Bennett. Well, he was like a Sinatra sort of singer, wasn't he? Cabaret singer, or whatever you used to call it. Used to call him the Rat Pack, wasn't it, or something? Johnny Mathis singing My Sweet Lord. You've Got to Hide Your Love Away, Percy Faith. If I Fell, Peter and Gordon. Ticket to Ride by Fifth Dimension. I think I've heard that one before. Do You Want to Know a Secret by Count Basie? Give Peace a Chance by Louis Armstrong. All My Loving, Val Doonican. Michelle by Sarah Vaughan. I Saw Her Standing There, Elton John Band featuring John Lennon. That is actually a fantastic version of I Saw Her Standing There. Then you've got Paperback Writer by The Shadows. Now, The Shadows were the backing band to Cliff Richard in the UK for many, many years. I think you might not have heard them if you live in America. I think the closest thing to that you got to them was The Ventures. Something by Jack Jones, Can't Buy Me Love, Diana Ross and the Supremes, Got to Get You Into My Life, The Four Tops, World Without Love, Peter and Gordon, Loose in the Sky with Diamonds, Percy Faith, Yesterday, Cilla Black. I've heard that before. That is a fantastic version. Come Together by Gladys Knight and the Pips, Nowhere Man, Vicky Carr, With a Little Help from My Friends even, Joe Cocker. That is a fantastic rendition of that song, actually. That was featured in the film Stardust, wasn't it? It starred David Essex. Obla Di Obla Da, The Marmalade. When I'm 64, Georgia Fame. Hey Jude, Joe's Falango or somebody. I've said that wrong, haven't I? Things We Said Today, Cliff Richard. Please Please Me, David Cassidy. Day Tripper, Lulu. I was going to say Lola. Day Tripper, Lulu. And I Love Her, Smokey Robinson and the Miracles. Your Mother Should Know, Mike Batt. Well, Mike Batt was the voice of the Wombles, as in the Wombles as the pop, the Wombles that did the songs. Good Day Sunshine, the Tremolos, and She's Leaving Home, Esther Offan. Isn't that nice? With all these things that are coming out and everything, and yet my local record shop gave me all these for nothing. And then, it'd gone through me. It's clean most of them as well, by the looks of it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 6 or 7 albums there because one's a double, and they didn't cost me a penny. Yes, I know a lot of you say, well, I wouldn't have even bought them anyway. It's entirely up to you. Somebody's gave me these as a gift. So, I'll play them, I'll treasure them, and I'll just put them in the collection. They haven't cost me anything, have they? So, you know, 7 Beatles records for no pounds and no pence. Got to be a good situation, hasn't it? That, yeah. So I hope you've enjoyed this little video. There's also a clip on YouTube of a forthcoming film about Brian Epstein. The clip looks okay. Uh, so, like I say, as Beatles fans at the minute, we are being spoilt for choice, aren't we? In all honesty, we've got all these records coming out. We've got box sets coming out. There's a new John Lennon documentary coming out next year. Borrowed Time, I think it's called. Which I did just see that my mate Beatley Tone has done a little video on that. I haven't watched the video yet, mate. I thought I'd do this and then I'll watch your video. So there's all these things coming out, isn't there? Is it too much? Is it too much all together? I love anything that's keeping the Beatles name alive. Uh, People who might not even know the Beatles, because there's people who don't really know the Beatles. So, if it gets other people interested in the Beatles, I'm all for it. It's one of those things. I didn't live through the original Beatlemania. I was born just after it, sort of thing. So, like I say, this is the closest thing that I can imagine that Beatlemania was like. Paul's releasing stuff all the time. Into Ringo's got a new album out, well, coming out in the new year. We've got the George Harrison Living in the Material World box set coming out in the next few weeks. Uh, you know, there's that much coming out all together, sort of thing. It's quite overwhelming in one way, but then it's exciting at the same time, isn't it? Obviously, not everybody can afford to buy everything that's coming out. Uh, I will not be buying everything that's coming out. I will not be buying everything that's coming out. I've got one thing that I wanted, which was that one, which was only released about a week or a week and a half before it came out anyway. I have ordered the George Harrison box set, so fingers crossed that could be here in the next couple of weeks, to be honest. And then the Beatles 1964 mono albums. I don't know whether I'm going to be getting them or not. I can see why people want to get the box set, and I can see why people would want to get the album separately. That's if you're bothered about getting them. And a lot of people aren't bothering about getting them, or saying they're not bothered about getting them. I will probably go out, if I've got the money, I'll buy the box set. If not, I will just buy the individual albums, because the only thing you don't get then is basically the Beatles story in the box. I have noticed that in the UK that box set is slightly going up and up and up and up. Every time I go on the Beatles site, it is, a little bit more than what it was the last time I looked. Right, so thank you to everybody that is subscribing, leaving me likes and leaving me comments. We're doing very, very well at the minute as a channel. I've got some fantastic supporters out there. You do all mean the world to me. Um, you know, you are the Beatle Dave. I keep saying this all the time. You are the Beatle Dave. Without you, it wouldn't be worth me doing the channel. A splendid time is guaranteed for all. I hope you've enjoyed me just showing you those. There is going to be another video, possibly tomorrow, which will be the Beatles records that I did buy from BPM. I say Beatles records, mostly Beatles records, but there was something that's quite special. I don't know if to do a video on that on its own or not. We'll see. Uh, so whatever you're doing, please stay safe. Remember, Beatle Dave loves you. Thank you to everybody for your support. And subscribing. By the way, if you're not subscribed, just think about subscribing. Please like and subscribe. It's free. It doesn't cost you a penny, and it helps YouTube promote my channel and also other channels that are like mine. So if you like my video or subscribe to my channel, then it doesn't just help my channel, it helps other channels similar to mine, like Beatley Tone, Beatle Brad, the Vinyl Vault, me, Mr. Mayo, Andrew Dixon, all people like that, Matthew Street, Rachel's Ghost. Because I talk about them in my video, it should help publicise their videos as well, as far as if I've got that right. Right, so until the next time, it's Beatle Dave wishing you all peace, love, and happiness. And as my old mate Beatle Brad would say, I'm out of here. Love and peace, love and peace. Whoosh.